Our first story is about increasingly lax police hiring standards. The supposed scrutiny police are supposed to be subjected to in the hiring process is changing nationwide.
We think this waiver will expand our pool of candidates. We think our pool of candidates will become much more diverse.
That means due to staffing shortages, they're making it easier to become a cop. In Chicago, that means dropping a college credit requirement. New York City Mayor Eric Adams said he was looking to follow Chicago's example. Philadelphia used to have educational standards for some officers and dropped the requirement too. The city's former commissioner said it's an embarrassment, but it's part of a larger trend. The problems that come as a result have cost us billions in recent decades and taken countless lives. Lowering hiring standards can't be a good idea, but what it illustrates is that policing is not about protecting the public. This is about protecting the interest of departments. The hiring standards in place now are questionable enough. We don't need them lower. Back in New York City, something terrible is returning. A Black man's killing by police at the hands of a notorious so-called anti-crime unit shook up the world. People marched in the streets and fought hard for justice that never came. His daughter died fighting for accountability. That man's name was Eric Garner, and the disbanded plainclothes unit that killed him is returning. Thanks to New York City Mayor Eric Adams, former Mayor Bill de Blasio's decision to get rid of the unit that killed people like Garner and Amadou Diallo is now overturned. And to make matters worse, he argued against people recording the police as if that's the real problem at hand. To see a Black pro-police mayor doing all he can to undo the actions of Black protests against police brutality speaks volumes. This is one of the pitfalls of reform, and that's why it's time for abolition, not exhausted non-solutions. Keep these dangerous units off the streets so that people can live. South Carolina is also bringing back something atrocious. It's been a decade since South Carolina has executed anyone because of the inability to get lethal injection drugs. Now, rather than question the ethics of capital punishment, the state is moving backwards. It's bringing back firing squads, joining Mississippi, Utah, and Oklahoma as the only states that allow the draconian practice. It's also one of 8 states that still uses the electric chair too. The USA stands out in the world for many bad reasons, like its lack of universal health care. But its continuing to practice the death penalty is a problem too. While other countries around the world have abolished this inhumane practice, the USA continues to kill as a punishment. It doesn't stop crime and it doesn't heal wounds. It only continues a racist legacy of lynching disproportionately structured against Black people. It's past time to abolish the death penalty, not revitalize its worst features. And now it's time for New Ground. The New Ground segment features hopeful stories of changes within the realm of the criminal legal system. The Freedom Library is a project that places curated 500 book collections where people in prison spend guaranteed time. That means someone locked up could be in the housing units where there aren't barriers to access and be able to pick up a book. Artistic and specially designed bookcases will go in designated areas as a part of the effort of writer Reginald Dwayne Betts and his organization Freedom Reads. Betts himself was incarcerated at 16. Now he's trying to make a difference through his effort and others. We're trying to make this broader case about the fact that people in prison deserve beauty. Betts said, "They deserve access to beauty." He's certainly right about that. And any efforts to give incarcerated people beauty should be given our support as we work to be free from prisons altogether.
The State of Criminal Justice is produced by Push Black, the nation's largest nonprofit Black media company. Push Black exists because we saw we had to take matters into our own hands, especially when it comes to protecting our communities. As a nonprofit, we rely on small donations from subscribers like you. You make Push Black happen with your contributions at stateofcriminaljustice.com.
There is a better future on the horizon through the efforts to dismantle the oppressive system targeting Black America. It happens when all of our thumbs are on the pulse. That's it for this week's State of Criminal Justice. Thanks for tuning in.